Hello there, and welcome to Restful Diaries. I'm so happy you found your way here tonight. Perhaps you've had a long day. Perhaps you're the kind of person who falls asleep more easily inside someone else's quiet life than your own. Either way, the next hour is for you. You've got nothing to do but rest. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breathing slow. Let the room around you grow a little smaller, a little warmer, until there is only the sound of one voice and the soft turning of a winter night somewhere far away. Because tonight, we are going somewhere very small and very quiet. We are going to a single rock in the cold sea off the Scottish coast in the winter of 1907. Where one man is to keep a single light burning, alone, for 6 weeks. His name we shan't trouble with. His wife, Mary, was a little pale when he left her at the harbour. The doctor had called it a chill and said it was nothing to fear. He has 6 weeks until the relief boat, a tin in which to keep his letters, and a small pressed daisy on the kitchen windowsill that she placed in his hymn book one May morning years ago. You'll hear of storms and slow mornings, of a guillemot he comes to call the sentry, of a passing steamer that sounds her horn at him on a clear, cold day, of a lamp that turns through every night, and a letter he tries to write, but cannot quite finish. If these slow, restful diaries help you put the day down, consider subscribing. It helps other tired souls find their way here, one quiet evening at a time. Now, let's begin. A lighthouse keeper's quiet winter. Entries from a logbook lost to time and the sea. First entry. The boat left me at the rock at 8:30 and was gone by 9. The morning was very still. The sea had no white in it. I watched the boat until it was a small thing on the horizon. And then I turned and went up the steps and let myself in. The other keeper had taken ill the week before. A chest cold that did not lift. He had been brought ashore on the supply boat last Wednesday and was, by latest report, recovering at his sister's house. The board had not yet sent his replacement. So this season, I am alone on the rock until they decide whom to send, or until the relief boat takes me off in the spring. Mary saw me off from the harbour at first light. She had wanted to come. She was paler than she ought to be, and the doctor had said a chill, and that a chill was nothing to fear. I had not wanted to leave her. The cat had wound through her ankles in the kitchen as I made the tea. She had pressed her hands against my coat, and we had stood like that a moment. And then I had picked up my bag. 6 weeks until the relief boat. I have marked it on the inside of the cupboard door with a pencil. 6 small lines. I shall cross one off each Monday. The lamp is in good order. The wick is even. The brass is dull where it wants the cloth. I shall give it the cloth tomorrow. There is bread enough for the week. The kettle draws. The kitchen is warm. End of entry. 1. Second entry. The lamp turned through the night without trouble. I sat in the lantern room a long while before turning down. The chair was cold. The room was glass on every side. The beam went out across the dark water in a long, slow sweep and came back and went out again and came back. I watched it until I had stopped watching it. Then I went down to my bunk. The kitchen was very quiet without another breathing in the next room. I had not thought about the breathing of another man in the years I have shared a rock. One does not notice such a thing while it is there. One notices it when it is gone. I did not sleep well. I lay listening to the singing in the iron of the lower rail. It was a small singing, the kind a south wind makes, but I had not heard it as the only sound before, and it kept me a while. I slept eventually, in the way one always does eventually. Up at 5 for the watch. The beam was steady. The wick was even. The brass was dull. I gave it. Let the cloth. Third entry. A grey, mild morning. Glass steady. The wind has gone round to the south and is light, and the sea is choppy but not rough. I had oats for breakfast. I had tea. I read a hymn since it was Sunday. I did not read the hymn aloud, as I would have done with another keeper in the room. I read it under my breath. The kitchen took the words and gave nothing back. I consulted the almanac. 6 Mondays from today is the day I have marked for the relief boat. That is, the day on which, if the weather holds, the boat will come with the new keeper and with the post and with the fresh provisions. The almanac does not promise the weather. The board does not promise the boat. But the date is the date. After breakfast, I went up and oiled the gears. Then I came down and made a second pot of tea. Then I read a chapter of the engine manual, which is a small, dark book on the upper shelf of the cupboard, and which I have read before, in other winters. The chapter was on the boiler. The diagrams were familiar. I shall write Mary a letter this evening. I have been turning sentences for it since the boat dropped me. 4th entry. I found, this evening, when I took down the hymn book to read another portion, a small pressed flower between the pages. It was a daisy, very thin, the colour gone out of it. The petals were the pale brown that pressed petals become. The stem was bent. I did not at first remember it. I turned it in my fingers and tried to recall when it had been put there. Then I did remember. It had been a walk in May. We had gone up the long path behind the village, where the gorse comes in thick at that time of year. Mary had stopped to pick a daisy for me, in the way she does, and I had said I would press it in the hymn book and she had laughed and said the hymn book was the proper place for it. So she had put it there herself and closed the book, and I had not opened the book since. I set the daisy on the kitchen windowsill. It will not be more pressed there than it already is. It will sit on the windowsill and look out, and I shall look at it. Sometimes, in the evenings, when I come down for my supper. I wrote my letter to Mary after my supper. I told her about the boat dropping me, and the lamp turning through, and the wind that had gone round to the south. I told her about the daisy in the hymn book, which I had forgotten, and which I had now found again. I told her I missed her. I sealed the letter. I put it in the tin. 5th entry. The wind has gone round to the north in the night. The cold has come with it. The thermometer at the kitchen window read a small frost at dawn. The basin by the door was iced over by ½ an inch, as basins are when the water is left out and the wind is north. I broke the ice with the back of a spoon and brought the basin into thaw. The glass has begun to fall, not by much, 1/10 of an inch since the evening watch, but it has fallen the second time of asking, which suggests weather coming. I have prepared, in the small ways one prepares. The lantern is wedged where the window has loosened in past winters. The lower door is shut and barred. The strap on the lower platform is in good order. There is dry kindling laid in by the stove. The kettle is full. If the weather comes, the lamp will hold. The lamp has held in worse. End of 5th entry. 6th entry. The weather came in the late afternoon and was on us through the night, and is on us still this morning, and shows no sign of leaving before evening. It is a heavy rain, with the wind from the northwest, and the sea has white on it from the rock to the horizon. I have stayed in the lantern room through the watches. The lamp has turned through without trouble. I have wiped the glass once an hour, and twice an hour when the rain has been heaviest, with a soft cloth that I have warmed on the stove between wipings. The cloth is wet now, and I have changed it for a fresh one, and laid the wet one to dry on the hob. I have not slept. I have sat in the chair by the lamp, with my coat on, and have watched the rain run down the outer face of the glass, and the beam go out into the dark and come back. I have made a great deal of tea. The kettle is on the back of the stove and is kept hot. I have thought, in the small intervals between attendances, of Mary, who will not have heard this storm, as it is a sea storm and will pass over us and not reach the mainland. She will be in our kitchen, perhaps, with the cat asleep in the chair we have been meaning to mend. The doctor will have come, perhaps, this morning, since he comes on Tuesdays. He will have said again that the chill is a chill, and not to fear. She will have nodded in her quiet way and offered him tea. the lamp turns. End of 6th entry. 7th entry. The weather left in the small hours of the morning. By dawn, the wind was light from the west, and the rain was gone, and the sky was a thin pale blue without much cloud. The sea was still high, in long, heavy swells, but there was no white on it now, except at the foot of the rock. I extinguished at the proper hour. I sat in the chair another quarter of an hour, with the new tea in my hands, and watched the sun come up behind a low bank of cloud. Then I went down and slept 3 hours. When I came up again, it was nearly midday. The kitchen was bright. The daisy on the windowsill had a small clean light on it. I made oats. I made tea. I felt better than I had felt in some days. I went up and oiled the gears, which had been ticking a little dry by the small hours of the storm. I trimmed the wick, which had gathered carbon along the eastern side, as it does when the wind has been long out of the west. I cleaned the lens. I added a few lines to my letter to Mary, telling her of the storm and of the lamp holding through it. I sealed the letter. I put it in the tin with the first. The relief boat will, by the almanac, come in 5 Mondays. End of 7th entry. 8th entry. I noticed at the end of my morning watch a guillemot on the south rail of the platform. I had not noticed any bird on the south rail since I came onto the rock. I had thought there were none this time of year in this part of the sea. Possibly there were not. Possibly this was a particular bird who had a notion of his own. He had a small white mark above his right eye. It was not a feather mark, I do not think, but a kind of pale patch in the dark feathers, the sort of small particular thing that distinguishes one bird from another if you are looking. I had not been looking. I was now. He stayed on the rail for the better part of half an hour. He did not appear to have any particular business. He stood and looked out to sea and preened a little and stood again. Then, at some moment, I did not see. He was no longer there. I have not seen him again the rest of the day, but I shall look for him in the mornings. I do not know, at my age, that one ought to begin naming birds, but I have, in my own mind, begun to think of him as the sentry. He has the look of one. He stands at his post and does his standing, and goes off when his standing is done. Mary would laugh at me for it. She has the right to. End of 8th entry. 9th entry. Today is Sunday. I read a hymn in the morning and another after my supper. I have begun to read them aloud, the way one reads with another keeper in the room. There is no one to hear, but the kitchen is less quiet for it. I have decided this is not a foolishness. The hymn this morning was about the morning, which suited the day. as the day was bright. The hymn this evening was about the sea, which always suits the rock. In any season, I tried to read slowly. I have been trying to read slowly since the year Mary said I read too quickly. I am not sure I have ever managed it. I think I read more slowly today than yesterday. I think I read more slowly today than last winter. Whether I read at the proper pace, I cannot tell, having no one to ask. I wrote a few lines to Mary in the afternoon. I told her that I had begun to read the hymns aloud. I told her about the sentry. I told her the daisy was on the windowsill, and that I looked at it sometimes. In the evenings. Nothing further today. 10th. Entry. The engine manual today. The chapter on the cylinders. I have read it before, in other winters. The diagrams are very fine. There is, in 3 of them, a man in an apron with a brush in his hand, standing thoughtfully beside the section of pipe or cylinder that the chapter is concerned with. He is a small, drawn figure. He is no man in particular, I am sure. The book is many years old. He is a piece of stock illustration, used in many books of his kind, for many readers of his kind, in many quiet evenings. I have looked at him before in past winters and thought nothing. This evening I have, in a foolishness I shall not write a defense of, decided to call him Mr. Henderson. He has the look of a Mr. Henderson. He stands very straight. His sleeves are buttoned. His brush is held with a kind of careful regard. I shall not tell Mary about Mr. Henderson, because she will laugh, and I do not wish to be laughed at, even from a great distance, even in the warmth of her laughter. I shall keep him in my own mind. He will be company. There is little harm in a foolish small company, in the long evenings of a season alone. The lamp went up at the proper hour. The night is clear. 11th. Entry. Monday. I have crossed off the first line on the inside of the cupboard door. 5 lines remain. The morning was overcast and mild. The sea was choppy. The wind was light from the south. I had oats. I had tea. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. The sentry was on the south rail at first light, alone. I watched him for 10 minutes through the kitchen window. He stood. He preened. He stood. He went off when the wind shifted. I read a chapter of the engine manual after my dinner. The chapter on the slide valves. Mr. Henderson had his sleeves rolled up. I did not understand why, in this chapter, the sleeves were up, where in the last chapter they had been down. He may have his reasons. 12th. Entry. A long, slow morning. The wind was very light. The sea was a dark blue with no white on it. The sky was clear. The sun, when it came up, was a small bright disk over the eastern horizon. I cleaned the lens carefully today. Sometimes I clean it at the speed of routine. Today, I cleaned it at the speed of attention. With the soft cloth I keep folded in the pouch by the chair. The cloth came away grey with salt. I rinsed it in the basin and wrung it dry on the hob. I wiped again. The cloth came away cleaner. I wiped a third time. The cloth was clean. The lens that night was very clear. The beam went a long way. I sat in the chair afterwards and watched it. Sometimes the beam looks like a thing that is reaching for something. It is not. It is only the lamp doing what the lamp does. But on a quiet night, it can look like a reaching. There is nothing further today. 13th entry. A small steamer passed on the horizon today, going east. She was very far off. I could not have told you the colour of her hull, only that she was small and her smoke was thin, and she went at the steady pace of a coaster on a long passage. I watched her through the kitchen window for the better part of an hour. The kettle warmed itself on the back of the stove. I made a fresh pot of tea while watching, without quite leaving the window. I have a way of doing that, of making tea while my eyes are elsewhere, that I learned over years. I noted the steamer in the log. Small coaster, smoke thin and grey, passing east, 4 miles south, 11 o'clock. It is a thing that goes in the log on a quiet day. It will not be of use to anyone. I thought, while I watched, of the people on the steamer. There would be perhaps 8 of them. They would be in their cabins or at their stations or having their tea. And none of them, I was sure, would be looking back at me. 14th entry. A grey, soft morning. The wind has gone round to the southeast. The sea is the colour of pewter. The kitchen has a thin, warm light through the south window. I sat at the kitchen table after breakfast and did not read and did not write for some time. The kettle muttered on the back hob. The daisy on the windowsill caught the light at a small angle and was, for a moment, almost the colour it had been when Mary picked it. I thought of her in our kitchen. The cat will be on the chair we have been meaning to mend. The cat does not know that the chair is to be mended. The cat is content. Mary will be at the table, perhaps with a cup of tea, perhaps with the post, perhaps with one of her small lists of things she means to do that day, which she writes on the back of an old envelope, and which she crosses off as the day goes on, and which, by evening, is mostly crossed. She will be writing me a letter, I hope. She will have begun it on Monday. She will be adding a line or two to it each morning. She will seal it on the Friday and bring it to the harbour for the boat that goes on on Saturdays. The boat will bring it to the relief boat that comes on the Monday after. The relief is in 4 Mondays. Nothing further to write. 15th entry. Frost in the night. The basin was iced over an inch thick. I had forgotten to bring it in. I broke the ice and brought the basin in to thaw on the stove. I shall remember from tomorrow. The lamp turned through. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. I came down for my breakfast. The kitchen was cold for the first half of the morning. The stove drew well once the kindling caught. The sentry was not on the rail this morning. He had not been there yesterday either. I notice now. I had not particularly looked. There may have been no birds at all on the south rail the last 2 mornings. I do not know. I shall watch tomorrow. End of 15th entry. 16th entry. A pale, clean morning. The wind was light from the northwest. The sea was choppy, but not rough. In the middle of the morning, on the eastern horizon, a smoke. I went up to the lantern room and looked through the glass for a long time. A small fishing boat, by the cut of her, with 2 patch brown sails and a thin smoke from her engine, going north. She was not the relief boat. The relief boat is not due for 3 Mondays yet, and is not the kind of vessel that has patched brown sails. She was on her own affairs. Some fisherman from one of the inlets to the southeast, perhaps going to a brother's at the Cape, perhaps for some small reason of his own. I watched her until she was out of sight beyond the eastern edge of the rock. She did not come near. She did not look. I do not think she could have seen me. I came down. The kettle was on. The kitchen was warm. The daisy on the windowsill was in the small light from the south. 17th entry. Monday. The second line crossed off. 4 lines remain. The morning was clear and very cold, and the wind was light from the north. The sea was a flat, dark blue. The sky was a thin, pale blue. The sun was bright and small. The sentry was on the south rail at first light. 3 days he was gone. Today he is back. He stood in his usual place. He preened. He went off when the wind shifted. I do not know where he goes. I am content not to know. I wrote a few lines to Mary in the afternoon. I told her the sentry had returned. There is nothing further today. 18th entry. A grey, mild day. The wind was light from the south. The sea was a long, slow swell. I read in the engine manual after my dinner. The chapter on the indicator diagram. The indicator is a small instrument that records the pressure inside a cylinder while the engine is at work. It draws a small picture, in pencil, of what is happening within the cylinder in real time on a moving paper. I had not understood the instrument well in past readings. I understood it a little better today. Mr. Henderson appeared in 3 of the diagrams in this chapter. In 2 of them, he was holding the indicator. In 1, he was looking at a piece of paper with the diagram drawn on it. He looked, I thought, pleased. The lines around his eyes were lighter than usual. I am pleased for him. I read a hymn in the evening. The wind dropped. The sea grew very still. End of 18th entry. 19th entry. A clear, cold morning. The wind was very light from the north. The sea was glassy. The sentry was on the south rail at first light. He stood very still. He looked out to sea. He preened. After a few minutes, he was joined on the rail by another bird, a young guillemot by the colour of his feathers, who stood a little apart and did not preen and did not look at the sentry. The sentry, after a while, took a few small hops along the rail in the direction of the young bird and stopped and stood again. The young bird did nothing about this advance, if it was an advance. They stood. The wind shifted. They both went off together. I do not know what to make of this. I do not need to know what to make of it. I made a second pot of tea. The kitchen was warm. The daisy was in the south light. Nothing left to write today. Entry 20. A long, slow afternoon. The wind has gone almost away. The sea is the colour of soft milk. The sky is overcast and even and grey. I went down to the lower platform after my dinner and sat on the lower step a while, with my coat collar up. I listened to the sea. There was very little to hear. A small breaking on the rock at intervals. The long, slow draw of the swell. A single distant gull. Then the swell again. I tried, while I sat there, to remember Mary's voice. I tried to hear her saying something. Anything in the kitchen on a Tuesday morning. I could not, at first, find the voice. I could find the kitchen. I could find her standing at the stove, or at the table with her envelope of small lists. But the voice would not come. I sat on the step a long time. I tried not to try too hard. I hummed after a while. What I thought she hummed when she was washing dishes. The humming felt a little like her, and a little not. I could not be sure. Then, suddenly, I had her saying my name from the doorway of the kitchen on a Tuesday morning, just the once, the way she does when the post has come and there is something for me. I had her clearly, her voice exactly. I held it in my head for a few seconds, and then kettle was on. I sat at the table a while, eventually 21st. Entry: a still, mild morning. There was no wind at all when I came up at first light. The sea was very still. The sky was a pale, clean blue. I had a quiet first watch. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. I came down for breakfast. I baked a small loaf of bread in the iron pot in the morning. The bread came out well. I had a piece of it for my dinner with a little dripping. I had another piece for my supper. I read a hymn after my supper. I read it slowly. The kitchen was warm. The daisy was on the windowsill. The lamp went up at the proper hour. The night was clear. The stars were many. I slept well. 22nd entry. It's Monday. The third line crossed off. 3 lines remain. The morning was overcast and mild. The wind was light from the south. The sea was choppy. The sentry was on the rail this morning, with the young bird beside him. They have been together every morning for the last week. I have begun, in my own foolish way, to think of the young bird as the sentry's apprentice. There is no evidence for this. The young bird does not appear to be learning anything. He simply stands. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. I had a second pot of tea. I read a chapter of the engine manual, the chapter on the air pump. Mr. Henderson was looking at a small flange with his usual concentration. Nothing more today. 23rd. Entry: a grey, mild day. The wind was very light from the southeast. The sea was the colour of old pewter. I tried to write a letter to Mary this evening. I sat at the kitchen table after my supper, with the paper and the pencil and the kettle on the back of the stove. I had been turning sentences for the letter all afternoon while I worked at small tasks. I wrote the date. I wrote, "My dear Mary." I wrote, "The lamp is well." I wrote, "The sentry has an apprentice." I wrote, "I cannot quite say what I want to say." Then I sat for some time, and the pencil was in my hand, and I did not write anything more. The kitchen was warm. The kettle muttered. The daisy on the windowsill was in the small light from the lamp on the table. I do not know what I had wanted to say. I had wanted to say something. The wanting had been very strong all afternoon. The saying was now nowhere to be found. I folded the letter without finishing it. I put it in the tin, on top of the other letters. I shall finish it tomorrow, perhaps, or another day, or perhaps it will go into the tin half-written and come out half-written, and Mary will read it half-written and will understand the half that is not there, as she usually does. More tomorrow. 24th. Entry. The glass has been falling all day, slowly at first, in the morning, faster by the afternoon. By evening, it had fallen more in a day than it had fallen in the last fortnight. The wind has come round to the west and is rising steadily. The sea is choppy and growing. There is white on the swells now, where there was none at midday. I have prepared. The wedge is in the loose pane. The lower door is barred. The strap on the platform is in good order. The kindling is laid in. The kettle is full. The cloth is folded by the chair in the lantern room. I have not eaten my supper. I shall eat it in the lantern room, at the chair, with the kettle on the small spirit stove that is kept there for such nights. 25th. Entry. A long night, and now a long day. The storm is on us. The wind is hard from the west, with rain in it, and the sea is white from the rock, to as far as I can see in any direction. I have not slept. I have stayed at the lamp. The lamp has held. The wick is even. The lens is wiped each half hour, and twice each half hour, when the rain is heavy. I have eaten what I had to hand. A piece of bread, a little cheese, of which there is not much, 2 cups of tea on the spirit stove, very strong. The spirit stove is a fiddle in a swell. I have managed. I have thought of Mary in the small intervals between attendances, in the way one thinks of the people one wishes one were with. I have not been able to think long. The lamp wants attention. The wiping wants doing. The wedge has worked loose twice, and I have refixed it twice. The relief boat will, by the almanac, leave the mainland on Monday next, which is 2 days from this evening. The relief boat is not the kind of vessel that comes through this kind of weather. The relief boat will wait on the mainland for the weather to ease. The weather may ease tomorrow. It may not. I shall write nothing further today. The lamp wants me. The kettle wants minding. The night will be long again. The lamp has held this far. The lamp will hold. End of 25th. Entry. 26th. Entry. The storm left in the small hours of Tuesday morning. By dawn, the wind was light from the northwest, and the rain was gone, and the sky was a pale grey. I extinguished at the proper hour. I came down. I made oats and ate them slowly. I made tea and drank 2 cups. I went to bed and slept 4 hours. When I came up again, it was past midday. The kitchen was bright. The daisy on the windowsill had a small, clean light on it. The kettle was on the back hob. The relief boat was due yesterday. It did not come. By the morning's weather, it had not been able to set out. The board's procedure in such a case is to wait one full day after the weather settles before dispatching. The boat may come tomorrow or the next day. I have crossed off the fourth line on the inside of the cupboard door. I have not put a fifth line in its place for the relief day, because the relief day did not come. I have put a small dash. The dash will become a line when the boat comes, whenever that is. I went up after my dinner and oiled the gears, which had been ticking dry by the small hours. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. Nothing more today. 27th. Entry: a clear, cold day. The wind has gone north. The cold has come with it. The sea is a flat, dark blue. The sky is bright. The relief boat did not come today. The weather is good. The weather has been good since yesterday morning. There is then some other reason for the boats not coming. I do not know the reason. I am not in a place to know it. I have not slept well. I lay last night in my bunk and listened to the iron of the lower rail. And I thought of Mary. And I thought of the doctor. And I thought of the chill that was nothing to fear. And I thought of how a thing can be nothing to fear and yet be a thing. And I thought of how she had been pale at the harbour, paler than she ought to be, and how the doctor had not perhaps said all that he might have said. I stopped thinking. In the end, I made myself stop. The lamp wanted minding. The wick was even. The brass was bright. I went down to the lower platform after my dinner. I sat on the lower step a long while. The sentry and his apprentice were on the rail when I came up again. Both of them stood very still. The wind was very light. End of entry. 28th. Entry. The sentry was not on the rail this morning. The apprentice was not on the rail either. They have been gone 2 days now. I do not know whether they will be back. They may. They may not. They were never my birds. They were birds. The lamp turned through. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. I made tea. The relief boat did not come today. I read a hymn after my supper. I read it slowly. The kitchen was warm. The kettle was on the back hob. The daisy on the windowsill was in the small light from the lamp on the table. I shall not write of Mary today. The wanting is too strong, and the saying is too hard. And I shall not put down something I will be sorry to have put down. Nothing further. 29th. Entry. A clear, cold morning. from the north. The sea was the color of slate. In the late morning, a steamer passed closer to the rock than steamers usually pass. She was perhaps 2 miles off, going east. A small coaster with a black hull and a yellow funnel and a low, thin smoke. I watched her through the glass for a quarter of an hour. As she came abreast of the rock, she sounded her horn. 3 short blasts. The sound came across the water a beat after I saw the steam at the funnel. I had not been expecting it. I sat very still in the chair. I do not know why she sounded her horn. It may have been a salute, by some tradition of her line, when passing a manned light. It may have been that her captain saw movement on my platform and lifted his hand in the way one lifts a hand to a stranger seen across a quiet street. It may have been a thing she did for some reason of her own that had nothing to do with me. I went up to the lantern room. I stood at the seaward window. I lifted my hand. I waved her, slowly, twice. I do not know that anyone on her saw me. The distance was great. The light was poor. But I waved. I sat down in the chair afterwards. The kettle was on the small spirit stove. I made tea and drank it. The steamer was, by then, a small thing on the eastern horizon. Entry 30. At dawn this morning, on the eastern horizon, a smoke. I had been at the lamp when I saw it. Through the glass, with the first pale light just lifting, a thin trail of grey, steady, coming on slowly, on a course that would make for the rock. I went down. I made tea. I waited. I did not look out of the kitchen window very often. And when I looked at the daisy on the sill, and not at the eastern horizon. By 8 o'clock, the boat was unmistakable. By 8:30, she was at the bollard. The man at the wheel was the same man who had brought me to the rock 6 weeks ago, with the same heavy oilskin and the same quiet face. He raised his hand. I raised mine. He did not come ashore. He passed me up the bag and a small wooden crate of provisions and a sack of post. He said only that the new keeper had not been ready and would be sent in a fortnight on the next supply, and that the board sent its apologies. He said that the post had been waiting 3 weeks. The boat had been delayed by the storm, and then by other matters, and he was sorry. I told him there was no need. He cast off. The boat went round the western edge of the rock. She was out of sight in a few minutes. I brought the sack of post inside. I sat at the kitchen table. The kettle was on the back hob. There were 3 letters from Mary. There was 1 letter from her sister. I read the sister's first. The doctor had been right. The chill had been a chill. Mary had been in bed 2 weeks, and then up again, and then about her usual matters. She had been tired, in the way one is tired after a chill. but not anything more. The sister wrote to assure me, in case Mary's own letters had not reached me. The sister had been visiting on the Tuesday before she wrote, and had taken tea with Mary. And Mary had sent her love, and her wish that I would not worry, although she knew I would worry in the way I do. I read the sister's letter twice. I read Mary's letters then, in order of date, slowly. The first was from a fortnight after I had left. She had been in bed when she wrote it, and her hand was lighter than usual, but the words were her words, and the lines were full of small things. The cat, the post, the new minister's wife, the gooseberry bush, the mending. The second letter was from a week later, written from the kitchen table, the hand stronger. The third was from 3 days before the post had been sealed, and was full of the small, ordinary news of a woman well again. I sat at the table a long while after I had read them. I did not, I notice now, write anything in reply. I shall write tomorrow. There is no hurry. The next boat is in a fortnight. I went up to the lantern room. I trimmed the wick. I cleaned the lens. I raised the lamp at the proper hour. The night was cold and very clear. The stars were many. The logbook becomes empty. There are no further entries. If you happen to still be awake, you can go ahead and restart this video now, or you can continue listening to the soft sounds of the lighthouse. I hope you sleep well. Good night.